Hello, welcome to Weird World Weekly, episode number 2. I'm Dave Nelson, and joining me, my co-host, Mr. Matt Stein. How are you, Matt?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Not too bad. This is the show where we discuss the weird, the odd, the strange, the unusual, and give it to you in 15 minutes or less. Kind of a guarantee, not really. We'll see how it goes. The subjects that we cover on the show could be anything from paranormal, mythological, conspiracy theories, or anything else. You know, if it's weird, we talk about it. And the way we figure it out, we have this wheel of weird. We spin it, whatever it lands on, that's the category that we choose from. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about something weird in your world. And you mentioned something on the last show that you wanted to talk about. What is it?
Yes. It was in the middle of the night, and my dog woke up, and I knew he was gonna want to go outside. So whatever. So I get up and I standing in our bedroom, and I hear a sound downstairs. And my wife fosters bunnies, so usually it's just a bunny sound, but this was really loud, and I thought someone was in our house. I have cameras on the main floor of the house. Mostly, she wanted to be able to check on our dogs in the middle of the day, so I put one in our dining room. And when I heard the sound, I checked to see if I could see someone outside or someone inside. And I looked at our dining room and almost shat my pants because what I had done was I have a sweatshirt from it's my friend's band Reaping Asmodea. It's a black printed on a black sweatshirt hanging over the back of the chair. And the print on the back is like a big angel-looking lady's face.
Oh,
And
no.
when the night vision camera hit it, when I looked at it from my phone, it looked like just this giant face staring at the camera, and I almost pooped my pants.
I could see how that's a comedy of errors right there, Matt.
It really was. So the first thing I did when I got up that morning was put the frickin' sweatshirt away,
Yeah,
and I will
good.
never hang it on the chair again.
So you only heard the noise once?
It was like two, but I think it was just bunnies shifting a cage.
Okay. Yeah, we get
So
that too. We've got one bunny, and he'll make a lot of noise. Like he'll run around the cage and knock things over, or jump down from the second level, and that'll generate noise. So
yep,
I
yep,
get
yeah, it
it.
happens all night. Even our dogs are getting used to it, so I should be too, I guess.
All right, you ready to spin the wheel of weird?
Let's spin it, Dave.
All right, here we go. I gotta wind up, make this thing go really fast. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I have no idea where it could land on. Could be anything.
Let's hope for a good one.
Conspiracy, logical, paranormal, grad bag. And what's it going to be this time?
Conspiracy.
All right, let's start the clock. Get it going, 15 minutes or less. And you brought this story to the show, so you get to talk about it.
Yes, I spent some time in the subreddit conspiracy, which if no one's ever been there that is listening to this and you're into conspiracy, that's where you want to go. So I found this interesting story about over 100 microbiologists are dead under mysterious circumstances.
Whoa.
At the time of reading the story, I think they had just hit 100, but it's kind of this ongoing thing. So it is well known that all of these microbiologists have been working on highly sensitive or government-funded research projects that are tied to bioweapons or viral pandemics. Kind of
Yeah,
fitting that we're talking about this.
yeah, let's talk. Yeah, we're talking about this in the midst of the Ebola crisis. So it's weird that we would bring it up.
I don't know if I necessarily would call the Ebola situation a crisis. Depends who you talk to, I guess. But that's
What news channel you watch.
that's true. That's a different topic there. But of some of these silenced microbiologists, it is well thought to be that they are whistleblowers who knew too much, and the government decided that they needed to die. So of those deceased, we have Li Zhongwu, who was 61, and he died May 22nd of 2006 after suffering a blood clot on the brain. He was spearheading the organization's fight against global threats from the bird flu, AIDS, and other infectious diseases.
And by all accounts, he was in perfect health, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No one had any idea there was anything wrong with him, and he just up and died one day. And he was the director general of WHO since 2003.
That's for those that don't know, that's a World Health Organization.
Yes, thank you. And he was his country's top international official. No history of any sort of ill health, according to the officials, which, take that for what it is. Another one that died was Robert J. Lull, age 66, died May 19th, 2005, of multiple stab wounds. I don't think that one's very mysterious. I'm pretty sure he was stabbed to death, but I could be wrong. Despite his missing car and apparent credit card theft, homicide inspector Holly Para said investigators aren't convinced that robbery was the sole motive for Lull's killing. She said a robber would typically have taken more valuables from Lull's home than what the killer left with. She said that her former husband was a proponent of the nuclear power and loved to debate his political positions with others. Sorry. So he was a prominent nuclear power proponent, which, depending on who you talk to, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, funny that you would mention nuclear power, because this week a story came out that Lockheed Martin finally figured out a cheap way and a economical and a way that makes sense to make fusion, nuclear fusion. So we'll see if that gets any legs to it, because if it all of a sudden we stop hearing about it, we're like, yep, somebody interfered with that, and they don't, because oil, big oil, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So it's kind of now I'm going to have to pay attention to that. I hadn't heard that story, so now I'm going to have to pay attention to see if that guy just disappears. Next on our list, Todd. I don't know how to say his last name. Kaupila. If I butchered it, I'm sorry, Todd.
He was listening, I'm sure.
I'm sure he is. From the afterlife, he probably is. Age 41, died May 8th, 2005, of hemorrhagic pancreatitis.
Jesus.
I was going to say, that one sounds pretty rough in itself, but his death came 2 days after he publicly rejoiced over news that the lab's director was leaving. So he goes on TV and he's really excited that someone leaves, and he dies a couple days later.
You never relish the fact that somebody's leaving your company / organization. That's you're just asking for it.
Yeah, and he was fired following a security scandal also. He states that he was fired because he did not immediately return from a family vacation during a lab investigation into two classified computer disks that were thought to be missing. So you can look at it from the standpoint that he had information that they didn't want getting out, and he didn't return it right away, so they thought he may have made copies, so they killed him.
If this is true that this is the U.S. government knocking these people off, or the world government knocking these people off, they're not nice. If they will go to that length to keep things quiet, then they're not nice people.
No, and that's kind of unfortunate. Although Todd claimed that he was made the scapegoat over the disks, which investigators say never existed. So it sounds like a lot of he said, she said. Todd's dead.
Or it sounds or it sounds like, hey, the disks did exist at one time, but we're going to deny it because there were some secrets on there that we don't want people knowing about.
Yep. Moving on, Professor John Clark, age 52, died August 12th, 2004. He was found hanging in his holiday home. Yeah, that sounds like a bad way to go. But an expert in animal science and biotechnology where he developed techniques for the genetic modification of livestock. His work paved the way for the birth in 1996 of Dolly the sheep, who,
Yeah,
as most people know,
we all remember him, or Dolly, that's for sure.
the first cloned animal, adult animal at least. He was the head of the science lab which created Dolly the sheep. Professor Clark led the Roslin Institute in, oh boy, Midlothian.
Yeah.
I should really brush up on my other language countries.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like some weird Middle Earth name, or a name from like Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Midlothian.
Midlothian. Professor Clark was one of the world's leading animal biotechnology research centers. Excuse me. Midlothian was one of the world's leading animal biotechnology research centers. He played a crucial role in creating the transgenic sheep that earned the Institute worldwide fame, which later stemmed into more cloning and things of that nature. So cloning as we know it started from this guy. And now he's dead. And what seems even weirder is that they just like, yeah, he was hanging. Like, they didn't say, hey, it might have been suicide. Hey, he was murdered. No one really cared to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Just was there hanging.
They swept it under the rug, it sounds like. You know?
Absolutely. It sounds like they did that with a lot of these. Like Todd, his hemorrhagic pancreatitis. That's not something you just hear of people getting that often. You think they would have looked into it, especially someone of his status.
What's odd is the sheer number of these researchers that have died under mysterious circumstances.
What is the number?
No, it's just
it's just the number in general. Yeah, absolutely. The website, which I'm assuming will be in the show notes, has 80.
That seems like a high number, don't you think?
Yes. Well, it says. It starts off the top. It says the world's top antivirus microbiologists are being killed off. By 2005, 40 were dead. Today, over 100, many murdered. The rest died under very suspicious circumstances. And this was last updated on January 14th of 2014. So in nine years, 60 more people were murdered or mysteriously disappeared, all having something to do with something about antivirus or biotechnology or. That seems a little too.
It's a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's all it is. All I can say, it is weird, Matthew.
Absolutely, it's weird, and that's why we talked about it here.
All right, so that is the category of conspiracies. If you want to hear us talk more about conspiracies, if you have a conspiracy story you want us to talk about, let us know. Give us feedback at galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. That's our voicemail number. Actually, our email address. Our voicemail number is 805-328-3966. Also, subscribe to our show at galacticnetcast.com. You can find our social links and other information about this and other shows on galacticnetcasts.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Weird World Weekly. Until next time, keep it weird. Bye, Matt.
Bye, Dave.
I'm still here.
I know, so am I.
I wish I could fade it off, but I can't. There's no way to fade it off. All right. Now it is done. All right.
Huzzah.
Okay. Yeah, this is about 14 minutes, so we're...
Nice.
I think we... Yeah. Hang on one second. Let me save this. Save project as... All right.
Well, hell yeah.
Podcasts. Weird World Weekly, episode 2. So I decided I'm doing this wrong. I've been doing this all wrong the whole time I've been recording these on Audacity.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saving them, or I've been exporting them, when I should have been just saving them, because when you save them...
You cannot go back in there and adjust volumes.
Well, well, there's that, but there's also the fact that when you export it, it's being compressed. When you save it, it's not being compressed.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
We used it for a few things. Usually, someday if we ever play shows again, I use Audacity to mix like samples,
Okay.
or I just got something else. I stole something else recently.
It's a super simple program, and it's free.
It's great. Yeah, it's free. You used to be able to, and I don't know if Audacity changed it or Windows fixed it, but you used to be able to just use Audacity and it would record whatever's coming out of your speakers. Now you have to like loop it through a soundboard and everything.
Well, no, it depends on the kind of soundboard that you have. If you got two soundboards in your computer, you can definitely record off your
Well, yeah,
speaker.
but you used to be able to do it just with the onboard sound card.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, see, I have no problem with that since I have everything routed through my mixer.
Right.
All right, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'll start the next one in a second. I'll see you in a bit.
Sounds good.